The instant you walk into a room, judgments are being made. Not out loud, not consciously, but quietly. People measure your clothes, your tone, the way your eyes move when you scan the space. They build stories about you in seconds, some flattering, some damning. Most walk into this arena blind, unaware of the invisible calculations being made about them. But Niccolò Machiavelli wasn't like most. He understood that human nature is predictable, and if you can decode the signs, you gain a kind of X-ray vision into the mind of anyone you meet. To him, people were never what they appeared to be. A friendly smile could mask envy. A compliment could disguise a threat. A silence could be as sharp as a knife. And so he built a set of methods, sharp, ruthless, and brilliantly effective, to strip away masks and see the truth of character. Today we'll uncover 14 Machiavellian tactics to read people instantly. Each one exposes motives, weaknesses, and hidden desires that others would prefer to keep buried. Used with wisdom, they protect you from betrayal. Used with precision, they allow you to outmaneuver rivals before they even know the game has begun. Let's begin. Most people are skilled at treating their equals well. They know how to flatter a boss, how to charm a peer, how to smile at someone they hope to impress. That's easy. But the true test isn't how they treat you. It's how they treat the one who has nothing to offer. The waiter, the janitor, the intern. Machiavelli understood something timeless. When people think no one important is watching, their mask slips. The disdain, the arrogance, the cruelty. It spills out in subtle gestures. A snapped command, a forced smile, a dismissive glance. If they disrespect the powerless, it's only a matter of time before they disrespect you, the moment your value fades. If they show kindness where there's no advantage, you've glimpsed rare strength. The powerless are mirrors. How someone treats them tells you everything about their true nature. People are terrified of silence. They rush to fill it with chatter, jokes, explanations. Why? Because silence feels like judgment. It feels like exposure. Machiavelli weaponized this. Instead of speaking, he paused. He let the silence expand like a spotlight, and under that pressure, people revealed themselves. They confessed more than they intended. They scrambled to justify, to persuade, to please. The insecure babbled. The manipulative over-explained. The strong, they sat steady, unshaken. By saying less, you learn more. Silence is not empty. It's a trap, and the one who breaks first tells you who they are. Most relationships are built on exchange. Approval, attention, favors, affection. That's the fuel. But Machiavelli asked, what happens when you stop feeding the fire? Withdraw the smile. Hold back the compliment. Offer nothing but neutrality. Then watch. Some will grow cold, revealing they were only warm when they had something to gain. Some will chase harder, exposing insecurity and hunger for validation. Some will stay composed, showing resilience, the mark of a rare opponent. Deprive someone of reward, and you reveal their default setting. When the mask of politeness cracks, the truth seeps out. Envy is the shadow emotion. People rarely admit it, but it leaks out in tiny cracks. A strained smile when you succeed. A delayed clap when you're praised. A harmless joke that cuts just a little too deep. Machiavelli knew envy was more dangerous than hatred. A hater opposes you openly. But the envious, they wait. They smile to your face while sharpening daggers in private. So watch carefully when fortune tilts in your favor. Who celebrates you with genuine joy? And who shrinks back, eyes darkening even for a split second? That flicker of envy is your warning. A seed of betrayal taking root. Every person has a trigger. Something that cuts through the mask and ignites raw emotion. For some, it's disrespect. For others, exposure. For others still, it's the feeling of being ignored. Machiavelli saw anger not as weakness, but as revelation. Because when people are angry, they forget to act. They forget the script, the performance, the careful mask. They blurt out their grievances. They show you where they feel small. The outburst is the confession. If you can identify someone's trigger, you know where they are most vulnerable. And if you can control whether or not to press it, you hold the leash to their behavior. Give a person a sliver of authority, a title, a role, a responsibility, and watch. The wise treat it with humility. They lead with steadiness, using their position to build rather than break. The foolish inflate. They bark orders, flaunt rules, relish in reminding others who is beneath them. Machiavelli observed this pattern in courts and kingdoms alike. The minor official who bullies is the same man who, if given a crown, becomes a tyrant. The humble steward, on the other hand, is the one you can trust with greater weight. How someone wields small power reveals exactly how they'll wield great power. Mockery is never random. It's a compass pointing to hidden insecurity. People laugh at what they secretly fear. They belittle the qualities they feel they lack. They turn others into jokes as a shield against their own inadequacy. Machiavelli understood that humor is often a mask for hostility. The harmless jab tells you more than a direct insult ever could. The man who mocks ambition fears he has wasted his life. The one who mocks intelligence dreads being seen as ignorant. Laughter can be sharper than a knife, and if you pay attention, you'll see it cuts in the direction of the soul's deepest wounds. Nothing unmasks a person like sudden change. When fortune rises, do they become generous or arrogant? When fortune falls, do they grow bitter or resilient? Machiavelli wrote that fortune is like a storm. It doesn't create weakness, it reveals it. The friend who is loyal when you're down is gold. The one who vanishes was never a friend at all. But pay closer attention to success, because that's where the masks crack fastest. The one who suddenly flexes, boasts, or looks down on those still struggling has shown you the truth. They were always small inside. Success just gave them a louder stage. And the one who remains grounded? That is the person worth remembering. Not every betrayal comes in grand gestures. Most begin with how a person reacts to small frustrations. Machiavelli often staged subtle tests. He might delay a meeting, forget a minor favor, or offer less than expected, not out of carelessness, but to observe. The insecure will overreact, showing entitlement. The opportunistic will grow cold, signaling their loyalty was conditional. The strong will absorb it calmly, understanding that patience is a greater investment than complaint. It's in these tiny moments of disappointment that character flashes most clearly. For a person's reaction to a little no tells you how they'll handle a bigger one later. Trust is a dangerous currency. Machiavelli advised that before you trust anyone fully, you must give them a smaller test. Offer them a piece of information that seems private, but isn't devastating if it spreads. Then, wait. If the story makes its way back to you, you've spotted a leaker. If they hold it quietly, you found someone who understands discretion. Secrets are a mirror. The careless will treat them like gossip. The wise will treat them like gold. Because a person who cannot control their tongue will one day gamble with your fate. No one is original all the time. We all mirror those we admire. But the choice of who someone imitates speaks volumes. Machiavelli looked at imitation as a map of desire. The one who copies the ruthless admires power above all. The one who copies the kind admires respect. The one who imitates no one but pretends originality. They are often the most insecure of all, afraid to admit their influences. To watch who a person imitates is to see their hidden idol, and to know what future they are secretly chasing. Machiavelli noted that patience is the rarest weapon. Some rush every decision. They crave instant results, fearing the silence between effort and reward. Others delay endlessly, trapped in hesitation, missing every chance. But the rare few, they understand tempo. They strike when the iron is hot, and they wait like hunters when the prey is still distant. A person's relationship with time reveals their strategy, or their lack of one. Impatience is a weakness that can be provoked. Hesitation is a flaw that can be exploited. But discipline is terrifying. The one who can wait for years unmoved is the one who cannot be defeated. Loyalty is never proven when the lights are bright and the rewards are flowing. Anyone can appear faithful then. Machiavelli knew true loyalty only reveals itself in darkness. Will they still defend your name when you are not present? Will they still stand beside you when the crowd turns against you? Or will they quietly step back, saving themselves at your expense? The disloyal always justify themselves. I was protecting my own interests. I had no choice. But in truth, they chose. And they showed you their choice in the shadow, when no one was watching. To know a person's loyalty, do not ask them. Watch them when betrayal would be easy. Masks are powerful. Words can be rehearsed, smiles can be faked. But there is always something that slips through. A twitch when a subject is mentioned. A tightening of the jaw when authority enters the room. A glance too long at what they claim to ignore. Machiavelli believed every person has a seam. A place where the costume of control comes apart. Find it, and you hold the thread to unravel their entire character. Ignore it, and you will be blindsided when their true nature strikes. The key is ruthless attention, because while most people listen to words, the Machiavellian watches the cracks. Most people stumble through life taking others at face value. They trust smiles, believe flattery, accept excuses, and in doing so, they walk straight into traps, betrayed, manipulated, used. Machiavelli refused to play blind. He believed power belongs not to the strongest, nor to the loudest, but to the one who can see human nature as it is, stripped of its illusions. So remember these 14 tactics. Use them not to grow paranoid, but to grow clear-eyed. The world is full of masks and most will never know what lies beneath them. But you will. And when you can read people instantly, when you can see their envy, their weakness, their hunger, then you will never need to defend yourself. Because by the time others make their move, you will already know it was coming. That is Machiavelli's secret. Not brute force, not blind trust, but vision. The vision to see people as they are, and the courage to act before they act on you.